First, the protesters were drugged-up hippies. Then, they were anti-Semitic. Then, yesterday, they were part of the Muslim Brotherhood. Our number one story now, the right wing has grasped at its next straw. The Occupy movement is actually being organized by the most vile of community organizations, Acorn. In an article on FoxNews.com's front page titled Exclusive, Acorn playing behind-scenes role in Occupy movement, the article points to the involvement of a group called New York Communities for Change, headed by former Acorn New York director John Kest. It claims that NYCC is paying homeless people to attend the protest, as well as raising money for the protests, while claiming they're collecting money for the United Federation of Teachers. They were even able to get quotes from unnamed NYCC employees. Oh, this must be real. What people don't understand is that Acorn is behind this. And yes, we're still Acorn. There is still a national Acorn. Acorn does not exist anymore. Between James O'Keefe's not pimp videos and Fox's subsequent slander and hatchet jobs, its survival was impossible. And another thing, how behind the scenes is the supposed involvement? The article cites a piece that Mr. Kest wrote for the Huffington Post titled, Why We're Joining Occupy Wall Street. He's tried to keep it a secret. The article was posted on September 30th. It was already day 14 of Occupy. It's also not exclusive to FoxNews.com, and maybe the reporter could have saved himself some time by watching that Fox and Friends gaggle over 2 weeks ago.
It's interesting. A number of labor unions have thrown their support behind these anarchist Occupy Wall Street people.
Right. Workers United, Transport Workers Union, and the Working Families Party, which was in part helped to be created by Acorn, the Acorn of the past.
Some evidence even an Acorn offshoot is behind it.
It's really sad to see what Teller's doing these days, isn't it? But that's what Fox News does, find a group to scare its audience, mention it on the air, and then have a phony reporter write about it and report it again as news. Let's turn now to Sam Seder, host of the nationally syndicated radio show Ring of Fire, as well as the web radio program The Majority Report. Good to see you, Sam.
Nice to see you, Keith.
Who do you have in the pool about who it's going to be tomorrow? And I think Goldstein is way too easy. We've already referred that Goldstein's behind Occupy. So who else could it be?
Well, it could be anybody at this point. In fact, when I knew I was coming on, I thought, oh, well, of course, it's going to be Chairman Mao. But I went to to Fox.com. That was yesterday. Literally, they had said that it was the Red Army that was actually behind it.
Jesus.
So they can't seem to stick to one boogeyman here. And so it's back to Acorn, or actually Acorn's office. It's not actually Acorn. We're talking about the undulating office that sends out all of the Acorn vibes, sort of like they shoot back into time, send it through the office. I don't know, it's fairly complicated. That's why they get the exclusive.
And you have to get a theremin to make that sound.
That's right.
You pointed something out that I like to note, that the conspiracy theories have not been given a lot of time to breathe. There's a new one every day. Why are they not, or is it just throw it against the wall, and if it doesn't immediately stick, they drop it? Or is perhaps the point that you just throw them all out there and then everybody gets to pick whatever is their favorite phobia? The Islamophobia can grab the Muslim Brotherhood, and the people who hate Obama can grab Acorn, and the sports fans can say it's really, well, the next one's going to be it's the locked out NBA players are responsible for this.
Of course. Well, I don't know. That's a good question. I tend to think they're just freaking out, and they can't find anything that will stick. I mean, they have actually, I saw a piece by a right-winger, I think it was today or yesterday, saying that Obama actually in 2000 was in an Occupy Chicago protest, or Occupy Chicago-like protest 11 years ago. Sort of, what they're doing here is they're playing with the time-space continuum.
Exactly.
And somewhere in the middle, I guess, is the truth. But you're right. Every day it seems like they come out with another sort of fake story. It's the Muslim Brotherhood. It's, undoubtedly it'll be Soros next, is buying them pizza, I guess.
Yes.
Who knows?
70 million pizzas.
Maybe. I mean, maybe it's the
70 million Nazi sympathizer pizzas from Greece or whatever.
A pizza cartel.
But why? I guess I know the answer to this one, but why do they need this? Why can't they? I mean, presumably they have people at home who are sitting there going, up with the rich and down with the me. Why can't they just argue it on the points and make that stuff up rather than come up with a boogeyman in the background?
I think it's there's a couple reasons. I think there's because there's no hierarchy there, and it's clearly a grassroots. There's really no way to tie it in to any institution that they have already sort of created boogeymen out of. And so I think that, combined with the fact that their message is resonating. I mean, it's resonating to the extent that you even had Eric Cantor last week actually say the words income disparity.
Yes.
I mean, I never thought in my lifetime I would ever hear the number 2, arguably the number 1 Republican in the House, saying the words income disparity. And so, and of course, his response was that we need to cut taxes,
right,
but on the rich for it. But
he was in favor of it.
Exactly, of course. But he was in favor of increasing it. But he did say the words, and I think that's what's really freaking them out. It's connecting with the American public.
Also, once again, my mirror theory applies here, that everything that is accused, the Republicans are accused of, the Republicans must thus accuse back. So the liberals find out that Dick Armey and those groups and the Koch brothers have been funding the Tea Party. Therefore, the conservatives have to make up somebody. There's got to be somebody else who's doing this to blame, because it's a game of tag.
Right. Well, I mean, this is, again, what Fox does, what the right does, is to create these sort of identity politics. Mm-hmm. And the thing that they're having trouble with is that the people down in what is formerly known as Zuccotti Park are all different types of people, and it's resonating with people across the political mm-hmm.
Spectrum.
It's resonating with people across the 99% of the country. And so I think they're having trouble going to their normal game plan, and they're freaking out.
Sam Seder of Ring of Fire and Majority Report, also the evil genius actually behind Occupy Wall Street.
That's
Him
right.
And Professor Moriarty.
You have the exclusive.
That's it. Great, thanks. Thanks for confessing. Please see the sin taker on the outside. That's Countdown for Wednesday, 377 days till the 2012 presidential election. I'm Keith Olbermann. Give yourself a round of applause.